What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Friday Night Live. Last week we were off for Axial Fest. This week we're back and with something very, very different. This is the CEN F-450, Brodozer, as I have called it for as long as I can remember. Tonight, what I'm going to be doing is taking said Brodozer and installing all of the upgrades that CEN makes for it. So I got a big old box of all of those parts. I don't 100% know what they are. I haven't taken the body off of this car yet, so I really haven't looked much at it at all yet. Tonight we're going to do that. Thanks for checking in. See where everybody's coming from. Yes, no Nicole tonight, so she not feeling great. So it is just myself. It's been a scorcher in Missouri. It has been a scorcher in California as well. So let's get a look at this thing. Has these little clear plastic washers under the body posts. Don't think we're gonna need those for too long. Like I said, well, this thing has got a crazy long wheelbase. Oh, I don't know how long, I guess. I've never measured it. We should do that. You going to flex seal the bed? You know what? While that seems appropriate, that is dang 17 and a quarter. Maybe 17 and a half even. That's a long truck. Two-piece body, great big body, obviously, to fit the wheelbase, but the body itself is not done poorly. I mean, it doesn't have clear windows, but beyond that, it looks good. So we're going to throw that guy on the ground, and then we've got this chassis. Now, one thing that I noticed doesn't look as prominent here now, but this chassis does have a bit of a bow in it. It's not exactly straight. It's got a little bit of a downward, like a smile to it. Pretty sure it's not supposed to be that way. Not sure when or where that happened, but looks a little bent. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. We'll see. Might just be it might be an illusion on my side. I'm not sure, but you should build a trailer and tow your boat. You want to. You know what? I'm not much for a tow rig type of person. So that isn't the curvature of the lens. No, I don't think. Well, no, I'm not sure if it's exaggerating it on your end or not, but in person, it definitely has a bit of a bow or a bend. So, which it is an awfully thin frame for how long it is. As far as height wise, which is where a lot of the is it the curvature of the earth? Can't be. Earth is flat. It does have a foam bumper on it, like a touring car or a drift car or a something. It looks like your shelf bent too. Whatever. But yeah, that is what this thing looks like with the body off. Kind of goofy. Big old stamped metal shock towers. Got a Hobbywing 1060 ESC, little box there. Kind of a 3-gear style transmission. It's more than 3-gear. It's a 2-speed, but to get the second gear, you actually have to get in there, open it up, and flip the gear. So it's just adjusting the gearing, which you could just do by changing your pinion and spur, but whatever. Paul's 1816, $9.99. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. I'm from Austin, Texas. We used to have 3 Hobbytown locations. As of today, we now have 1. Things are getting real. I mean, brick and mortar stuff. I mean, a lot of hobby shops did really well during, the pandemic time when people were at home and wanting things to do. But just the internet battle with local hobby shops is always the thing. Did notice in the last couple of days, Horizon has had to do a price adjustment, so we'll talk about that in the scale news, of course. But what tow your TRX 4000 around until it lets out the pixies. Jesse, that has definitely been a thought. I can't wait. Is that truck two-wheel drive? It is four-wheel drive, front drive shaft. Given the style of this truck, it would be appropriate if the front drive shaft was missing. So, all right, let's see what we have for the upgrades from CEN. And we'll see what we've got in front of us for tonight. Okay. So we've got aluminum 4-link brackets. Just go on the axle side. Imagine there's two of those. We've got an aluminum locker, hard anodized aluminum locker. Should be two of those, of course. We've got aluminum hexes, 12 mil hexes. What do you know? There's probably two. Yeah, there's the other one of the link mounts. These here look like a leaf spring thing. Aluminum chassis rail holding block, silver. So I imagine this is some sort of wedge that allows you to clamp the chassis halves together. This, kind of a cool, looks like a bearing mounted sway bar. Yeah, front or rear silver anodized sway bar set. Bearings for the pivots and everything. That's kind of nice. Are those hats on the website yet? No, they were supposed to be this week, but they're not yet. However, the other one that will be on there is this one. Sewn on rubber patch style. Mesh back, and this one is a flex fit, or not a flex fit, a snapback, but it's a snapback that actually fits if you have a big head. It's a flex fit snapback. I had never seen that before, but I've never been able to wear a snapback until these. So I actually really dig that as well. But the comp stance one, my obvious favorite. You can tell by the sweat marks from Axial Fest. There you go. So back to it. What do we got here? Servo horn? Yes. Aluminum servo horn, remachined clamping jobby. Drive shaft front. Center front universal joint shaft. So that's going to be some sort of drive shaft, dog bone combo. Kind of an interesting deal. I'm sure we'll get into that. This is a center rear universal joint shaft. Same thing, but longer. How do they fit for regular sized heads? They fit well. You just don't have to, like, I have a very large head, so I have to wear it with all but 3 open up, which normally, like with most snapbacks, I'm like on the last ones. So if you can wear a normal hat, these will actually work for you as well. It's as long as a 6x6. You're not far off. There's the other 12 mil hex. There's another set of the chassis clamps. What is this? Aluminum third link mount. So panhard mount for the axle side, I'm guessing. Is there whistling diesel decal? I never used to watch Whistling Diesel until recently, and for some reason I have been enjoying his stuff a little bit more and more often. Aluminum rear straight axle adapters. What we got here? Aluminum trailer tow hitch. Interesting, because this is plastic. Oh, must just be these extensions. I'm sure we'll see. Dually Gladiator Slam. Jeremy, that was a pretty good suggestion in your message on Instagram. CNC third link mount silver. They sent me 2 of these. Unless they're the same on the chassis, and they are not. I think that they sent 2 of these on accident. I don't think that is required. But, or wait, is the rear? Oh, that's right. The rear of this also runs a panhard, not 4-linked. As you can see, there's only 3 links. So, I was wrong. They are correct. I do need both. There's the other locker. What do we got here? Knuckles? Nope. Front C hubs. Aluminum front Cs. This aluminum panhard mount upper. So this is going to be our chassis side. 2 of those. 1 front, 1 rear. There's another sway bar set. Wait, here's another panhard mount upper. What was the other one? Panhard mount lower. I don't know. Maybe one of them was an upper link and one of them was a panhard. We'll see. So much to see. Why a rear panhard? I'm not 100% sure why they went that way. There's some, I've heard reasonings here and there, but this is a carrier bearing setup, aluminum steady bearing holder, but it's a carrier bearing for the rear drive shaft. Panhard mount lower. I think I was looking at upper 3-link mounts, and then that's the panhard. And then my favorite part, which is these. And if you can't see what those are, they're the spiked lug nuts. Aluminum front C-words. You know what I didn't see? There was no knuckles. There was C-hubs, no knuckles. Interesting. Oh, someone ban that person for me quickly. There we go. Thank you. Alex and Ben were on it. Get that. There we go. Thank you. Apologize, everybody. So, what is wrong with people? Why? What is the point of that? Cheers to the mod squad. Bam. Killing it. Okay, so let's dig in. Let's take the wheels off this big ass truck. You look like a 2 mil. Get out the DeWalt. Those are some long ass rails. I agree, sir. 2 mil. Who makes all the parts for it? They're all made by CEN, same company that makes the truck. Oh man, is there real? What are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are a 10 lug wheel. That's a lot of lug. And we got to change all these for lug nuts. Just taking the wheel off this is a chore. Spam F for respect for the mods. No. The brodos are exactly. Yeah, he gets some 120 mil shot. Oh, that's hey. The set. Well, I learned something. The center cap is only held on by 2 of those 10, which how do you tell which 2 they are? I guess I just have to look closer. Can't tell in the rear. Maybe the rear is different, but we'll see. In the front. Oh, yep, I can see him. The rear definitely looks different. I don't know. We're going to find out. But interesting. That's the little American Force center cap. Either way, pretty sure I got to take them all off so that I can put the spiky lug nuts in later. Okay, Amir, you can start now. Perry G, thanks for joining, sir. There's the... Let's see. Do I have a 1.9 here? Do I have a 1.9 handy, I should say? That's the word I was looking for. No. Yes. Here's a 1.9 wheel. There is the Brodozer wheel. That's big. Oh my God. Look at those. Look at those hub extenders. That's a lot of hub. 1.9 would be much better. You know, It is lowered though. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know if they would be better. So there's our hub. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna replace those lug nuts yet, but Dominic Sousy 655. Well, that's a fun one. Hey Josh, love videos. Question: how do you or others know run no prep car diffs fully locked or with high viscosity oil? So I obviously don't race all that much, but when I have set mine up, I've talked to like John Schultz a little bit, and it sound kind of how he said before is he as far as me, like with not running very often, he had me run a little bit lighter oil, like I don't remember if it was like 60 or 80,000 weight, so that I could get out of the hole a little bit easier. More closer to locked or heavier oil, much heavier, was a little bit better for the big end and more speed. That was what I was told. I am not a super qualified drag racer. And I know I can take the wheels off with the center 12 mil or 12 mil with just the wheel nut. But like I said, pulling these off so that I can replace the lug nuts. Is the frame drooped or just looks bent? No, it's actually it looks, as far as I can tell, it's got a little bit of a bow to it. I don't know if it's intentional, but it doesn't seem to be, or I wouldn't assume it would be. So I'm not sure if that is just how this one is, or if a lot of them were like that. I couldn't tell you exactly. So Ron Sterner, thank you. 526. Are you guys giving odd amounts tonight? That's bizarre. No question though. Send a question. Let's hear something. We're just working tonight, so it's we have lots of time for questions. What's that getting for a motor and ESC? Honestly, I don't know what to do with it yet. At this point, it's just I'm throwing all these parts on there to kind of experience what this thing's got, and then we'll figure it out from there. Because right now, I don't have any idea. There we go. I found the other one. It does have a center cap that comes off just like it. It's just hard to see. Are press vehicles a thing in RC? You mean like in full size world where they send like one car around or things like that? I've never seen that. I guess probably because of the value of RC cars, they just have to give them to us. And I think at the same time, it's one of those things like the you don't really make enough revenue off of, like, unless you have a really big channel, you don't really make that much revenue off of videos. So if you want like some sort of compensation for doing it, it's like the price of the car kind of deal. You should mark the two bolts to identify them easier for future removal. That is assuming that I'm going to take this apart more than once. No, it is a good idea. Probably something we could do. I'm not sure if we will do, but so the wheels are kind of keyed as well with, like, you see that splined pattern in the middle. which lines up with a splined pattern on these hubs. So they engage in more than one way, which not a bad idea. Show. Keep all of our wheels straight, but long frame with sway bars. Yeah, it's like a lot of torsion going on in that whole package there, isn't there? So the shorter hub extensions go in the rear on the dual wheels. I'm kind of surprised that you guys can see that bow in this. It, like, I couldn't tell if I was just had like a little bit of an optical illusion myself or if it really was, but I guess enough people have seen it. Okay. Man, been a lot of work just to remove the wheels. If you look close, you can see it. Is each frame rail 3 pieces? Jiffy McSchlitz? Yes, it is. Which is quite odd. I noticed that when this thing first came out, and I commented on it in the in that video, and commented about my minor concerns about that. But at the same time, you know, what are you really going to do with this truck? Like, is it really going to matter? I don't have OCD, but yeah, it's hard not to notice that warp. So I don't know if anybody else has one of these. Maybe if they do, they can chime in and tell us if that's just how they are, or if I got one that's just kind of like that. Are all 6 wheels the same offset? No, the rears are different because you've got the flipped offsets so that they all go together. Well, I guess I say that, but I didn't check if they're just an opposite. You're probably right. I bet they are all the same. Well, they're not. They are, but the rear wheels, they only have the text of the tire, which says Country Hunter MT by Fury. And that's only on one side of the tire. The other side doesn't have that. So you got to make sure that you get them all on there correctly. Sea Fart Fire Truck, $5. Thank you, sir. 24s. We can measure the wheel and give you an idea. Okay. Let's see. If it was bent the other way, we'd just start jumping it until it fixed itself. All right. Come on. All right, there we go. Okay, wheels are off, finally. Let's pick a place and start. Let's tear the front axle off this thing. We're going to just start unbolting things until it falls into pieces. I definitely didn't see any mounts in this area. I guess I could have taken them off at the other side because I'm going to have to undo that anyway, but we didn't, so we're not. Okay. I feel like it's like working on the RCPC. It's so freaking long and hard to get to everything. Okay, we're just going to take off the steering linkage. Are we? No. So we're going to pull the steering linkage off. That way we can get to 3-link and shocks. That. What do I do with those other 2 screws? They're there. Front shock off. Okay, that's dropped. So we have sway bars attached. And the front panhard. And then there's the drive shaft. Just a regular old dog bone. And not a huge dog bone. Again, this truck, whatever you want to say the purpose is, I don't really think that it's not really traction or rock crawling. It's just a truck. So it doesn't really have to be built to the hilt as far as that stuff goes. Okay. We got the front axle out. We'll set this guy off to the side. Scott O'Blander, thank you, sir. $4.99. Off topic, do you think incision drive shafts will work on a VS410 chassis with an element transmission, or would the output difference be a problem? I think it'll be fine. I think there should be enough engagement there that it won't be an issue. So we don't need to pull the shock off, but we do need to pull this upper link mount off, as I know we got a aluminum one of those. Rubber down, thank you. Hold on. I guess it was already off. I swear there's another screw on there. Oh, you just loosen it. Wait, how in the world? Excuse me? Oh, weird. Okay, so this is what I was trying to take off, which is the front upper 3rd link mount that bolts in on the front side of this axle here, like so. And you can see there's 2 bolts through the front. And then there was another bolt on top that I thought I was taking off, but it is actually on the top of the link mount, which also screws in through that same thing. So it's like this weird sandwiching deal. Bizarre. Okay. Took me by surprise. We got her. Rubber down. Installing F9 axles. Do I use pivot balls on the top of axle for 3-link if the slot is empty for the SX10-2? You don't have to, because the aluminum won't really like squeeze in so much that it's an issue. So you don't have to, but you can, and it just makes everything a little bit more solid. So go for it. If you, they should, I believe they're in there. But not absolutely required. I'll have a weird sandwich and a bowl of strange soup. Weird or ingenious? Yes. So there is the link mount we're replacing, or the 3rd link mount. Now we need to find those. There they are. Other link mounts. Let's see, are these should be, yeah, they do depend on the side because they're threaded. So we need to make sure that they go the same way. Okay. Throw that dude in place. Okay, right behind it. Let's grab some Loctite and be responsible. So, okay. That. It's weird holding all these parts together. A little awkward. There's probably a better way to do this that I'm not paying attention to or something, but not immediately clear. There we go. Once you get one of them in, it's fine. Oh my god, hey, Squints Palladors. This needs a Dale C. What does that mean? What does Dale C's? That. Now we can throw that lower link back in. Hopefully, I do need to open up this this housing because I need to put the locker in there. So I'm assuming we're gonna have to, oh, I know we're gonna have to take off the C hubs and such. Let's see if we can do that with one screw. Is that how they're retaining it? Yep. Spline style drive. One screw holds the C hub on. Kind of SCX-102-esque. All the weird stuff makes it more scale to be in a Ford. There we go. Really should have just taken these shocks and stuff off, but I feel like fumbling about with more parts makes things look like I'm busier. Oh, and we have to put in that funky screw on the top. Which is still in the old link mount. Quack RC, $2 thing. Hey man, just started a flat rail build. Oh buddy. I have one that I'm gonna do for a friend here soon. I think he bought it all today or the last couple of days, and we're gonna throw it together. Maybe on a Friday night, maybe I'll just knock it out. Did anyone see the $13,000 of the model of the Ford GT? Yeah, but it's all put together already. So, which surprised me. Oh, we got a diff covers with a 1.5 driver. Four screws hold the diff cover on, and it looks like it's a kind of a diff cover third member sandwich. Sandwich. You should change the shock oil just because that sounds like an unnecessary and tall order. Come on, there we go. Long-winded bastards. How's that bumper come? Oh, come. That's a toad daddy. The frog father. So I could go. Do you guys want overhead or do you want, let's go overhead? For the axle at least, maybe? Better or worse? All right. There's the third member. Oh, wow. Look at that freaking pinion gear. That's an interesting one. Overhead until the freeze. More better. All right, we'll stay with that. So currently this is an open differential, but we will be going to a locked differential here. Let's throw these unused parts to the side. And it's an open planetary style diff. You see that? Or which way? There it is. So they're not spider gears, they're planetary style. That bearing is on there. It's this is, there we go. A bit of a pain in the butt. But now, is that a 2 mil? I think it's a 1.5. It is a 1.5. Okay. Throw the should be an easy locker change. Always a nice thing. Always easier to go to. Always easier to go to lockers compared to diffs. These little diffs are packed with. But that's a pretty small open differential. Not sure what kind of power those things would take, but interesting. Fingers all dirty. All right, let's find that locker. There we go. These are aluminum lockers, so not nearly as strong as steel, but should be just fine for saying my dad always used. Good enough for the girls we date. Not sure that that's a healthy saying growing up, but Michael 5 Dime, thank you. Yeah, go on. They should license a GM and Ram body. I would buy one if it was a Chevy GMC. I imagine there's a lot of people out there that would same way. You know, I kind of agree. Like, is kind of say it, you know, or not pointless as this truck is. Like, there's a lot of guys who've got these diesel type trucks, and you know, that would be fine with purchasing this just to do nothing but drive around the driveway and use like they do their real trucks, which is just put big wheels on it. So there we go. Locker is in place. Damn it. I do not recall where that bearing went. But to be safe, we are going to shim it so that the ring gear is closer to the pinion. So we're going to shim it on the gear side. Like I said, I don't remember where that came off of, so I'm just going to put it on the side that will make it tighter. This tighter is better. Ah, shit. Let's see. This is a... Is it a reversible? No, it is not reversible. Okay. Only goes in one way. Was there only one shim per side? Yes. Well, there was only one shim, period. There's nothing on that, and there was only one shim. So, yes, there was only one shim. That's something that could have changed over time if they had it different previously, but I'd buy the body if it was a Ram. You know what? This truck is what, like $389, something like that. It's not a terrible price. Granted, it doesn't really have any quote unquote features, if you want to call it that. Um, but you know, fun is fun. If the purpose of you wanting it is because you like that type of truck, then there you go. Swap out this other link mount. Have a Vanquish chassis. What links will work with TRX4 axles? For that, I did a video on that specifically. You should be able to find it on my channel. Because there's you can use SCX10 2 links, but you also need a couple of other links, which I believe I linked to everything in the video, so you should be able to find that. Oh. You like that kind of truck. I mean, I do kind of like this type of truck. I can appreciate this style for what it is. I'm not saying that the RC style is one, but if I had this truck in real life, then I would probably own this RC because of it, is what I'm saying. I know I own this RC, but we all know the circumstances as to why. Oops, that is upside down. Okay. You want 22s on your Jeep. I do not want 22s on my Jeep. I've never said I wanted 22s. I said I wanted 20s. Big difference. Said the guy who doesn't have a Gladiator RC. Now that is a great counterpoint. One that I have no rebuttal for. So we are going to take this greasy diff, which I likely will have no use for in the future. Drop it in that. Put it over there. Okay, so we've got the upper panhard mount on. We have the rear link mounts on. Now I need to do this third link mount. Bolts on from the front. That, and let's find that baggie. That's that guy there. Right, a little bit of Loctite. You should put a Gladiator and do a straight axle swap. Wait, what? How is the quality of the plastic? It doesn't feel bad. It feels pretty decent overall. I haven't been threading anything into plastic yet, so I haven't got a great feel for that, but like when you cinch the screw down and you're starting to compress the plastic, it doesn't feel, soft or gummy. It feels pretty good. So we do have C-hubs that we have to replace. Like I said, no knuckles. But we got to replace C-hubs, and is there anything else up here? 12 mil hexes. So I might as well do that while we got the front axle out. Straight axle adapters. There's C-hubs. So what do we got here? This, now these are a straight C hub, so there's no kingpin inclination or anything like that. It says B. I'm guessing that goes on the other side. Oh, so the axle end itself, where are we at? Doesn't really have splines. It has a couple of lines. See that like faint ridge there? There's 4 of them. But the C hub, this metal one, see it's got some adjustment points in there. Nothing wild, but I don't know. Hard to see. Also doesn't really matter. Not that you need a bunch of caster in a on-road dually truck with low traction tires. So we'll just set her around 0. Oof. Is it? Jesus. That's the spot, right? Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. Good Lord. Bearings are nothing to write home about. Just metal shielded cheapies, but good Lord. That is quite the press fit on those particular parts. Yeah, that's lining up. Just making sure it wasn't me trying to force it past something. Jesus. I guess when we send those things home, they're staying. Good Lord. I don't even know if I'm all the way on. Ugh. Now it's there. I can see like the plastic curling in there. I hope that is in the right spot because that was a real rammer home type moment. Axle shaft can go in the housing. This one, make sure we got the right length. I'm guessing so. Oh, no, it's probably these. I'm going to use a little bit of Loctite, even though that seems completely pointless, since there's no way those things are coming off. Nathan Worth, thank you. Is there any option for 2-speed trans with dig for the Capra? Not the SCX 10.3s either. I'd like to use it at Axial Fest. I know I'm not asking a lot, but I'd figure anybody new would be you. So Axial Fest legal, you have to run an axial transmission, obviously. The only transmissions that have ever had dig options from Axial are the original Wraith, the Capra, and the SCX 10.3. So the SCX 10.3 is literally the only one that has that option. So that obviously would make a tough swap for a Capra, since a Capra is already really tight on room, and a SCX 10.3 transmission is huge. So yeah. Okay. Back to this. That's man. I'm trying to think if there's any other options that you could get away with as like an aftermarket upgraded. There was 2-speed style Wraith transmissions, specifically the RC four-wheel drive AX2, or AX1 or AX2, but it didn't have a dig, and you wouldn't be able to piggyback anything on because the two-speed is what would take up that area. Why did I just take this off of? I took this off of the other side. Is this going the front side? Yeah, I think so. Question for everyone. Does one have to be a car enthusiast to join the RC? I would say absolutely not. I think that there's a lot of people in the RC scene that really don't have any knowledge of full-size RC or anything. I think it's just, especially RC car, like sometimes you just want to jump an RC car or you just want to go fast. Like you really don't care about any of the other stuff. It's just, I want to go jump a car high in the air. Like sometimes you can just have silly fun. And RC can be really good for that. Meaning just silly, stupid stuff. I've got the wrong knuckle. Doesn't really matter. Lance Lucas, thank you. Much appreciated. Big ol' flathead shoulder type kingpin screws. Not bad. So take that off. We do still need that linkage, but now we are putting these shoulder screws into the aluminum C-hub, so I am going to use a small amount of Loctite, and we're not going to over tighten those. A little Loctite on my shorts, that's fine. I want to fly an RC 1,650 feet into the air and film in 4K. Jesse, you know that's illegal. Okay, so there we go. We need to change out that plastic hex to the aluminum one. These aluminum ones, if I remember, looked much shallower though. Yeah, there. So yeah, these aluminum hexes are half the offset of these. I don't think that these are a great idea with this truck. Maybe they make these for something else and they sent them anyway. I don't know. That seems like a bad. I'm gonna open them and I'll show you what I'm seeing. So this is the aluminum hex that they have. You can see that. And this hex has a depth of 6 millimeters, which is, I think it says 6 millimeter hex, but the hex that's on the truck is 10 millimeters. So it would suck each side in 4 mil. So I don't think that this thing needed to be narrowed. So we're going to skip these aluminum hexes. Let's see what the rear looks like. You can see it. Now the rear looks like, I wonder if they sent me 6s and 10s. Nope, 6s and 6s. So we're going to skip the front. Dave, 4130. 4130 like the chromoly, or just because you like that number? Thanks for the content while I'm bored at work. Have you a panhard mount brake on a Wraith 19? Should I beef it up? I have seen them break. I have not broken one myself, but I have seen them break before. So there is, I believe, some braces that you can get for them. I would say that it'd be a good idea to do that before it breaks, because if you do it after, you're going to have to replace it and beef it up. So I think it's a good idea to do that now. All right, take the other C-hub off. Let's jam the other one on. Check your other pair. The fronts are wider than the rears. Yes, that's what I was saying. But I checked both, and they are both 6mm. So the rears probably has the 6mm, but the front. So yep, just the same. Goes on a little easier, but still had to really send her in there. Hopefully Dave 4130 isn't an ambulance driver currently on call. Wait, what? Is a 4130 like a medic number that's bad? Now I gotta know. 4130 BMX. Wait, what does that mean? Stack 2 pairs of 6mm. Winning. Isogen. Thank you. How in the world is Tamiya able to sell $400+ kits with 80s and 90s tech? Wait, this is not Tamiya. Isogen. This is a CEN Brodozer. This does look very Tamiya though, doesn't it? This is the CEN F-450 Brodozer though. Now, Brodozer, not the technical product name, but not that I'm going to not call it that. Oh, no, he's bored and watching you work. Oh, I see. I'll allow that. That seems reasonable. Okay. Lock nut on the back of the C. X Tamiya designer, now at CEN. Old school BMX frames were 4130. Oh, I think I heard about that. The chromoly BMX stuff. There we go. Drew does not want to start. Being a severe pain in the ass. Hold on. You meet the nicest people on a CEN. What? What is that? I don't know what that means. Oh, this is, for some reason, this screw or that nut does not want to start square. The coolest of cool were chromoly BMX frames that were only clear coated, so all the natural markings were visible. Oh, I could see that. Oh yeah, it's just this nut is all kind of boogered up. I'm going to replace it with a different one. And then I'll try and find a stainless one that will be in a less conspicuous location. There we go. Good to go there. Throw the other knuckle on. Pins. Okay. So is that all we need for the front axle? I believe so. We can We're going to wait to throw this back on, though, until we get some of the other parts on the chassis side. So we're just going to throw that axle aside for the moment. Maybe we'll just try and kind of finish up this front end and then move rearward. So one thing we can do while we're in here, we're going to pull this servo saver off. And now I'm going to be very careful. Currently, I've got that servo horn straight up and down. So I'm going to carefully take it off without rotating. Let's see. Okay. Still square. I know I fiddled with it a little bit, but still square. So the reason I say that is because we're going to change the servo over, but I don't want to have to power it up and re-square everything and that whole deal at the moment. It's a clamping servo horn, but got it. Got it. You know. That uses a really long screw that I don't think is going to fit once we swap to this shorty servo horn, but no, not even close. We need a substantially shorter screw. It's fine. Put that to the side. Just be one of those extra screws you wonder why you have after a build. Those are the best. American Force wheels are very expensive. For this style of build, American Force wheels, not bad. Like in the full-size world. I mean, you also have like the Hostels, but I don't know that they are as much in the real big wheel game, are they? So we've got that on. We do need to swap over the steering linkage. That was on the back side of the servo horn. Makes this more fun. This servo horn is threaded. Little Loctite. It is. Duct tape the rears and fronts drift truck. Whoa, duct taped. I've seen electrical tape, but even still, duct tape seems awfully, you know. Oh, so this has got an interesting adjustable panhard setup. I'll show you. So this screw that I'm taking out here, right here, you can see these other two holes there. And on the side, over on this side, it can move back one hole. So You can adjust it back, and actually that goes with the shock tower position as well. So obviously this whole setup was made to be fairly modular for whatever thing that they had in mind. Maybe we're seeing more brodozers or just regular scale trucks. I mean, this could be a regular scale truck if it didn't have that crazy long extension in the middle. So, go. So we need to find that mount, which is the chassis side panhard. Sway bars, links, drive shafts, another rear third upper link, another locker. Oh, there it is. Is Matt checking in? I didn't get the Matt signal for some reason. I was worried that you would judge my brodozering. Okay. That's it. Now, I didn't notice. Well, I guess maybe I didn't have to. Maybe let me double check. Send these in first. More. Okay. I did take it off already. The panhard mount on the chassis side has 3 locations, just like the plastic one, and it looks like it was in the bottom one. I can see that the hole is, you can tell the hole's been used. But what I didn't check was if it was in front or behind of the servo. Must have been behind. I don't know. I mean, I say must have been, but I'm definitely not confident in that. So, yeah, that looks possible, plausible. We'll see. The hole has been used, huh? Yeah. You can tell. You can tell when someone's been using it. Okay. Now we still need to replace the sway bar. So let's pull these mounts off. And so currently these sway bars, oh my God, those are very rigid. I am extremely surprised. I thought that would have been much lighter. Lost track. We still in the front? Yes, we're still in the front. Um, I thought those sway bars would have been much lighter. Wow. I'm gonna keep these sway bars though. The rest of the plastic stuff, probably not keeping. But a sway bar like that, you never know. Now, the reason that I thought that those were going to be so much lighter is because I could see in the package that these are so thin, these aftermarket ones. Now, I'm not sure if that is going to be the same thickness torsion rod or not, but we're about to find out. Anybody know if CEN spiked lugs will fit other wheels? We'll find out once we pull it out. I think that they're 3 mil. They might be 2.5 mil. So I've got a. So these were the bolts that I pulled out of the wheels. This is a thread gauge. So you can see like all the metric threads on this side, standard. And like I said, I don't think that no, they're not. They fall right into a 3 mil. So I think that they're 2.5. Yeah. Yeah, they're M2.5. So the other ones should be the same, the spiked lug nuts. If you've never picked up one of these, it's very handy to have. So tells you all kinds of good info. Super handy. Bolt Depot. Sway bars. That's what we were working on. Here's the new mounts for this thing. You can see the bearing in there to support the sway bar. No. These do not use the same hardware as they came with. So you do need to switch to flathead. Yeah, gray matter fab. Thank you. Can you start over? Just got here. The good news is we have the whole back to do, and I imagine there will be a high number of very similar items. Calibrated eye is good for bolt sizing. That is incorrect. You know what's good for bolt checking? A proper gauge. Because then you can check and be correct all the time. Because I was pretty sure they were 2.5, but how could you be certain if you didn't have such a handy dandy thread gauge? So there we go. There's the torsion rod necked way down. The slip slider through. Orient the flats up. How fast are you going to make this thing go? Definitely was a thought. That long of a wheelbase, it's like not a terrible thought. But with these drive shaft styles, man, I do not know that they would hold up. Put a good amount of Loctite on that one. I use the TLAR method. That looks about right. I'm just saying. You get a few dollar thread gauge, and you can just be right all the time, like me. I kid. Okay. What DeWalt driver am I using? That is the DeWalt 8-volt gyro max. To the max. And it is fantastic. It's my favorite thing. Okay. Is there anything else in the front we need to do? That's on. These are on. We do need to do the chassis braces. Where are those? There's one of them. Have you considered using a Dremel? You know what? I did see Dremel came out with an electric screwdriver. So, how do the tires feel as far as compound? I would call them better than toy grade, but only just. They're somewhere somewhere just above that. If you are considering using them for anything else, I would say hard pass. So there's this little clampy piece which helps sandwich the frame up here. Because those frame extensions, while the frame ends right here, this front section, the extension runs all the way into here. And then it's a huge extension. So toss that to the side. I'll replace it with one of our new aluminum. Okay. Go. Yeah. Why is the VS410 Pro cost $1,130 Australian and not include shipping? Because the Australian dollar doesn't have the exchange rate that the American dollar does. And it costs a lot to ship most of the way around the world. That's mainly why. What bits do you use for your e-screwdriver? I use the Traxxas set, which is pretty awesome because it's got a 1.5, a 2 millimeter ball end, which you don't see all that often. 2.5 ball end, 3.0 ball end, and then it's got the nut drivers as well. The nut drivers don't fit like Vanquish. The 8 mil at least doesn't fit like the Vanquish wheels. The 7 mil does, but so anything large, I still use the Vanquish ones. Most of my nut drivers, I don't use them as screwdriver like that though. So yeah. There we go. What beer am I drinking tonight? Dos Equis Amber. I went to go get Pacifico, and they were out, unless I wanted a 12-pack, which I did not. I only wanted 6. So if I have beer at home, I'll drink beer, which I don't need to do that often. Okay, got the aluminum mounts thrown in there. Surprised you didn't go Corona. I do like Corona, but again, I was only looking for a 6-pack. Next, we're going to throw the axle back in, I think, and see if I put anything in the incorrect locations. So let's throw the rear or front links back into the chassis side. Only 6, wimp. Yeah, I know. 6 will still last me most of the week. I don't drink that much anymore. I used to could, but I don't anymore. Now it just gives me bad headaches. Did you get it just for the Fast and Furious reference? You know what? That would have been worth it. Okay, so first thing I noticed is that the panhard does indeed need to go onto the front side of that mount. Oh, nice thing is I can just swing that dude back. Did you install the new drive shaft? That I have not. I think that I've got the front drive shaft. Let's check though. Well, the bad news is that you can't really get a driver to that location without taking the panhard off. Unless every once in a while I keep one of these guys, which is just a standard L wrench, and it is still too long. Actually, that's a 2.5, isn't it? That is a 2.5. I have a 2.0. I do. I kept a 2.0 as well. And it is not too long. Haha. See? Every once in a while, there is a reason to keep those type of tools. Okay, got it. There we go. So those are in. Now let's find that drive shaft, as somebody so kindly reminded me of. Center front universal. I think that's back here. Or it might not be. I don't know. Where's the rest of them? That is the same length. All right, let's just. This is center rear universal joint shaft. Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, I think this side goes onto the pinion shaft of the axle. Or it is the pinion shaft. Center, rear, front, center. I bet that that's what it is, and I bet that I don't replace that one. Well, there's no time like the present. That's what that's why I asked. All right. So it should only be 4 screws. Nope, I'm lying because I gotta pull out. Oh, nope, because I have to pull off the knuckles. Damn it. Damn it, damn it. I should have looked at those parts. Big. Oh, damn it. Well, the ones you pressed. No, I don't have to take the C-hubs off. I can just pull the knuckles off, which is not nearly as difficult. Pull those. Pull the inner axle shaft, both sides. How many times should I have double checked? Yeah. I didn't even think about the drive shaft having any effect on that. Didn't even cross my mind. I didn't have to do that at all. Why doesn't he listen? Just the center of the pumpkin. I forgot that it was a third member. Or this type of third member. See? Yes, I see now that I wasn't listening. Oh well. See, it's hard to build and talk at once. Why do you do the things you do? Oh, I bet that grease is packing in there, huh? Take that owner's manual. Can I? No. This practice for the rear. That's exactly right. Okay. Hard to hold, so we will Engage. Where's Nicole to call him a dumbass? Exactly. Shoot. Shoot. Okay. I don't need that guy. There's that. Two shims. Those are going to have to go back on the outside, I'm pretty sure. Center front. And he's trying to read the live stream at the same time. No way to be able to focus on this. Yeah, it's not that easy. So we're going to put the shims back here. Then that guy rotate until drops in. Come on. Tiny little screw to hold on that pinion. To be fair, Josh may have had a long week. I definitely had a long week. Josh should trade you an RTR Gladiator for that. Not telling. You ever been to my Instagram? You should visit. Drop me a message once. Just to chat. Just to chat. Why not? Okay. A bunch of screws I didn't need to take out that we can put back in. Son of a... Okay. Think my driver's dead. Yep, it is. A little spicier with a charged battery. Don't be mad, I told you. Yes, Phoenix, I know. Right. So, got that on there. Now let's just go ahead and replace the knuckles that I didn't need to pull off that Phoenix told me I didn't have to. There's also a delay. So not only am I distracted and reading comments, but any help that I do get usually just comes just too late after I've already screwed up. At least those were quick. Do you even play with... Do you get to play with RC cars full time? I rarely play with RC cars at work, even though I work with RC car parts like all day. I rarely play with them while at work. It's usually either, design, well, a little bit of design. I don't do a ton of design anymore. But recently now I do programming for the machines. So I was programming for our Swiss style machines first. And this last week, I've started jumping into the mills side as well. Programming the CNCs was not something that I had been doing previously, other than my own CNC that I have here at home. Okay, so we've got those parts on. We need to throw that upper link screw in, which probably, let's call it this one. Rotate that a bit out of the way. If you are just joining, we are working tonight on the CEN F-450. This is an RTR car, but CEN sent this truck to me this week. And along with it, they also sent all of the upgrade parts they make. Okay, I gotta put the panhard back on. And just like the upper side, I don't know what of the 3 holes they were using. They were using the one the most outside. Going by the witness of the threads again. Okay. There we go. Now let's put the sway bar links onto these fancy, nice aluminum sway bar arms. What are some of the first things that I should do to my TRX4? I've done a servo and a new Traxxas winch, hoping to get the new Pro Scale light next. I've got like a 16-week budget build video series on the TRX4 and exactly what you're asking. So I would refer you to that because that will tell you like the first 16 things I think you should do. So yeah. He misses a lot of comments. Yes, it would be very hard to read every comment. And if I read every comment, I wouldn't be able to look, I wouldn't be able to look up or look down and actually build anything. So, yeah. So, yes, I just look up, read a comment selectively, whichever one catches my eye at the moment, and move on. Okay, so we got a long boy screw. It's got to go through the knuckle, through the drag link. Oh, this is where I need a replacement nut because I used the other one. Apparently you read one too many comments. I can't. I'm talking about the fact that I accidentally forgot to put that steering link where it should be. Okay. Now let's put the shocks back on. Josh pronounced TRX 4K wrong. Yeah, go watch the TRX 4000 build. Go. What's that all about? Okay. Right. Can this crawl? Absolutely. Now that it's got locked diffs. Okay. So, got some good looking sway bars on there. Link mat. Look at all that aluminum up there now. I mean, really, the sway bars is what looks good. Everything else clears. Doesn't have a lot of steering. Not a lot happening there. It should have more than that, though. Ah, I see what I did. Another goof up. These sway bar end links have offset ball ends. And they have to be, well, that still doesn't make any sense. No, that's not. I had it right. They're just like that. Never mind. Turd polishing. Ford loves that. God. I thought I did it, but that's just the way that is, which is fine. Could use a little bit more clearance in that area, but flip that guy around. No, we're not. Must have missed that stupid one. Steering knuckles have stops. Yeah, I saw that. And this side hits fine. Hits that stop there. This side is just shy, as you can see, that gap in there. But the steering arm touches that sway bar end link right here. And I thought that I had the upper and lower flipped, but it's not, because that lower ball stud has to be there because it goes all the way through and yada, yada, yada. Doesn't really matter. Sure, there's something we can do about it, and maybe I'll look at that later. For now, we're moving on. She's got some bow to her, though. And we're going to pull that rear axle off and do that whole thing again. It should go quicker, right? Now that we quote unquote know what we're doing. Sway back horse, yes. Drive shaft out, front and rears. This time I am indeed pulling the shock, because that was more of a pain in the ass than anything. Now we need to pull sway bar end links. Oh, bolt through. The shock screws out. TRX4 element axle all have their pluses and minuses. That is true. The TRX4 is the most durable one. Definitely not the best performing, but most durable. If you want a durable platform out of the box, it is fantastic. If you want performance out of the box, the element probably will be able to outcrawl them. Now, if you want like the best aftermarket support and performance in the long run, I think the axial is the way to go. Okay. Go. All those. Put some fuel tubing in the rear shocks and stance that brodozer. You mean squat it? I don't hate what you're going. I don't hate what you're going with. That's a. I'm picking up what you're putting down. If it wasn't already so low in the back, you could do that. I think I would almost have to just lift the front. Carolina squat, exactly. Don't call it Cali lean. Carolina squat. That's what it should be called. I'm gonna leave that look being attributed to the East Coast. No, do not squat it. He smells what you're stepping in. I like that one. So we've got another diff that we need to lock and replace a drive shaft in. So let's do that so I can get that back together. Click unsub, unfollow. Harley who? Well played, Jesse. So, okay. The shims fell off on that side. So it does go on the ring gear side, which is good because that's what I did on the other one. So try and separate that bearing. There we go. Come on. Tiny little screws in these ring gears. And if you were trying to really use these axles and put some power to them, I think I would have some concerns. Deal off if you squat it. Oh, sometimes doing that stuff is just worth the reactions, you know? I can get some 120 mil shocks for the front. Put that nose all the way up in the air. Just there's our other locker. Carolina squat is from all the guys that can only afford half the Walmart lift for their trucks. Okay. All those screws back in there. Probably redo these by hand for how. Josh, what are you building? This is the CEN F-450, the one that is like a lowered dually. But we are throwing all of the upgrades that CEN makes. CEN reached out, sent me this truck. I initially said that, I don't know that this truck is really in like my wheelhouse. I don't know that it's one that really like is something that I think is right for the channel. He's just like, you don't have to just check it out, see what you like, So I will say that other than that little issue with the bow and the chassis, not been a bad experience. gosh, it's not me. It's you. We have to break up. Has he made it? Yeah. I'm telling you, I think that I'm kind of thinking whoever suggested the squatting just for the reactions. Squatted RC trucks. I'm almost thinking we should do it on this stream. I should see if I can find some shocks and we should squat it. Now, I took those off. The other one had shims. This one does too. I'm going to make sure we reinstall those. I wonder, trying to think what shocks I may have that would be long enough. There we go. Wonder if I have some like freaking RC four-wheel drive 110 millimeter Kings or something, which would be perfect. Squat. All the thumbs down. Oh, we're going to look at it. There's nothing better than not. I don't know if you guys caught what I just did there, but I put the third member back on. The gear is still here. Now I'm so just thinking about this squat idea that I'm just forgetting what I'm doing. This could be great. What? That new Bronco looks like it has 120 millimeter shot. Oh, they do. Those do come with 100 mil. It's only 10 mil. I don't know if that's enough. We're going to look around. We're going to look around and see what we have. Okay. Now, I'm going to change that bit out, go back. Just thinking about squatting makes you dumb. Longest socks you should have in that room are rift rears. Oh, knee. You are a brilliant, brilliant man. How long are capper shocks? I think those are only 4-inch, Ben. Am I wrong? Are they longer? I'm going to just... I got to get to building here because Capper's not 90. They need 90s, but they are longer. Someone call Nicole to smack him, please. You see, this is exactly why I want to do it, though, is because of the reaction. Can you imagine the Instagram post and the people, it's just going to be all Jackie Chan reactions. Just that meme that's there. Epoxy a titanium screw on the rear for sparks. Oh, once it's squatted, I don't think you can ever drive it again. Squatted trucks can't be driven. They just have to exist. They just have to be terrible and exist. That is their entire purpose in life, is to make all of us just go, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? It's like, yes, what is wrong with me? You picked up some trolling behavior from Noob, evidently. Squats are terrifying when you're on the road and see one in your rearview mirror. Must be destroyed. May as well drive it. Oh, not a bad. Don't think you're getting that Gladiator RTR trick now. Listen, some things are worth the sacrifice. Where can I get a hat like yours? They will be for sale soon on the Vanquish website. Very soon with the comp stance. The comp stance, man. Tiny Yaris. I disappear to those things. If there's a squatted truck in Minnesota, I'd be shocked. I feel like those things are already hated enough everywhere else. You squat or not, Sean? That is the question. The answer is hell yes. Does anyone remember? There was like an early internet, or it's not even that early. It was just an internet video a handful of years ago, where it was like the lady who kept calling, or they kept calling one lady about tickets for like a wrestling event with John Cena. Most hilarious thing ever. Popped up the other day on my TikTok. Squatted in one stack exhaust. Okay, so we've got rear panhard mount on, rear third link mount on, both rear lower link mounts. We put the locker in, we installed the drive shaft. Now we've got the straight axle adapters. Right, shock. That's like a non-lifted truck in Alberta. All rig pigs in here have tons of money. Yes. Follow that oil money, man. Hey. Just so excited about squatting my RC truck now. Okay. In the rear, I think we can replace these plastic hexes with the aluminum ones they sent. Well, from the inside, that is the shock mount. So that is yes, that side. There we go. Hurrying, guys. We're going to get to squatting this thing ASAP. I know you're all excited. Cracking myself up. Has anyone done a lowered truck RC? Yes, lots of them. There's been lots and lots of those. Hey, Dale C, even that's in here a lot of times. He built one on a lowered Tamiya or RC four-wheel drive Hilux body with like, drifty type suspension and all that. I've seen a lot of them. I think I even built one in like the 2010-ish. It was on a stretched mini T chassis back in the day. Back in the day when mini T's were a thing. That screw just went. Oh well, be all right. There's a squatted Tahoe in Mounds View, Minnesota. Oh, man. Someone call Whistling Diesel. That's exactly what I was thinking, Jeremy. We'll paint it blue even, and then shred it and sell it in jars like he did. Okay, that axle done. Much faster, I may add. So let's pull these end links out of the sway bars, swap them over to the back over to the axles. That seems too short, even though I'm pretty sure these are all about the same length. Yep, they are. It's fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. So much faster when you don't have to do half of it twice. Yeah. Almost like I screwed up before. There's a squatted ram around Goodhue, Minnesota. That's getting a reputation for riding bumpers. I feel like if you have a squatted truck, riding bumpers is just a personality trait at that point. Like you have to let people know that your headlights point upwards. And it's so much easier to let people know that when you're so close. Squatted trucks are a personality trait. Hello from Florida. Thanks for checking in. Okay, end links are on. It's going to make that a little bit easier. We need to do sway bar mounts on the chassis. We need to do that upper hand hard mount, since this is a 3-link rear suspension too. Old factory bagged Lincoln Town cars were squatted way before it was cool. That is exactly right. Lincoln Town cars and Lincoln Navigators or Ford Expeditions. You remember how bad those air suspensions would blow out and just. That's got to be where that trend came from. The people who own squatted trucks now used to have blown out Expeditions. That is the only reasoning. Josh, did you talk about driving Pretty Penny? I have not. I mean, I showed some of it in the video. I obviously didn't make the video go too long with that, just because I felt like that would have dragged on a little bit for everyone else. Let me tell you, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. But had a great time in it. Got to do it. Probably drove it for, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe. Nobody could afford to fix the air suspensions when they broke. Yeah, exactly. They were worth, fixing the air suspension was just worth more than the car. That's why so many people had those cars, is because it's like, well, this car is worthless. It runs, but it's worthless. So I'm going to just basically give it away. And people were just like, I'll take it. I will give you exactly $0. All kidding aside, squatted trucks are pretty much retarded. Oh, I am on board with that sentiment, 100%. But that is why I want to do it. Because I have 3-wheeled RC cars and a racing sidecar style. So it seems like that's perfect. Why isn't this a 4-link? So I don't know why they didn't 4-link it. It doesn't necessarily matter. This thing doesn't have a lot of suspension movement, so it's not really necessary. It allowed them to just use all of the same components for the front and rear axle. They didn't have to have a separate 4-link mount or, it can require, you can make more clearance with a third link because you can keep it lower. And there's a handful of reasons that they possibly decided to go that route, but regardless of it, they did. So bolt it back in. On. Come on. Yep. I have a town car compressor on my Toyota trail truck for airing up the tires. Why do they replace four-way signs with roundabouts that cause more traffic issues? Well, there's some reasons to do that. For one, they don't roundabouts can carry more traffic volume than four ways. As far as causing more issues, that can sometimes be a perception. That can sometimes be the demographics of drivers in an area. Sometimes drivers of certain areas are not as good. That's just a thing. It's not like a. That's not like a. You know, a slight or anything like that. That's just facts. Sometimes drivers in areas have, uh, worse driving records or worse driving habits. The speed, the 85th percentile speed, as they call it, will be higher in certain areas, on areas of same speed limits, things like that. So maybe you and your neighbors, Mike, aren't good drivers. But yes, roundabouts handle traffic volume better. They can handle higher traffic volumes, I should say. And usually they'll put them in places that do not warrant a traffic signal, but still need some sort of increased ability. Make all overpasses DDIs. Alex, that only works if there's not a high through volume on the side street. If you have a high through volume, they do not function as well. Beyond that, they're awesome. Usually DDIs are used when you don't want to spend the money for new bridges. Not always, though. I've actually done new bridge design DDIs, which is odd. Make the rear, just take the rear springs out. So I don't want to. The reason that I was saying I don't know if I is because the rear tires are already super close to the fenders. We're gonna explore multiple options. Don't worry. We just need to get this on there so that we can figure out what our options are. In true squatted fashion, we could always cut springs off the coils. I can hear the joy in Josh's voice talking traffic. I do love me some traffic talk. The DDI in Springfield is very busy. I'm very familiar with the DDI in Springfield. I believe that was the very first DDI in the United States that was actually completed. I think there's more than one in Springfield now. There has been for quite some time, if I'm not mistaken. Other sway bar out. We also have, where is it? We have the rear chassis brace / tow hitch. Let's see what this thing has. You don't have a hair on your ass if you don't squat this forward. Oh, I'm about it, as somebody with a squatted truck would say. So, look at that. Okay. One thing that I did notice is that this rear bumper was like a good couple inches inside the body, which is, it has a trailer hitch on it, but it's way in there. However, this trailer hitch setup that they have comes with a new cross brace. It's a different type of plastic even. It's gray versus black. I don't know why. Beyond that, it looks the same. Might be a different grade of plastic. But it comes with chassis extensions. So good news there. But we need those when we're putting on the rear sway bar because it screws through those holes. Oh man, DK. Have you all seen that idiot on TikTok with the squatted Nissan hardbody? I have, and that is an amazing video. I'm glad somebody else enjoys TikTok like I do. Because that is freaking hilarious. Let's see, is that? Well, that's slightly interesting. Let me double check. Okay, it just leaves a gap. So these sway bar mounts, you can see they have a step right there. See it? Well, since I'm putting these extensions on, it doesn't overlap the bumper the same. So I end up with a weird gap in the chassis, but that's okay. So gap goes to the back, which means this is the wrong side. And that's the right side. Don't like the gap. Not a fan of such a assembly design, but are those spacers to take that up? I bet they are. Two spacers per side even. See? Okay. So we've got to mix and match some hardware from these. We need this piece of, oh, Jesus. Okay. That goes there. This one to the rear, two spacers. A little bit of Loctite for a chassis extension. Deal. Another one. You'll need some sort of Diesel Bro sticker for the back window. Do Diesel Bros run squatted trucks? I feel like that wouldn't be their thing. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Another. This goes that way. That. Two more spacers. Loctite. Let's bet. What are SCX24 Betties going for these days? Ben, I had somebody. Oh, I think these are spacers are different. There's one thick and one not. Too excited thinking about squatting that I didn't read properly. Surprise! You have to put your last name and your Insta on the back window. Oh my god. This, you know what? There's some serious meme truck possibilities here. Okay. But yeah, I was saying, Ben, someone had messaged me the other day trying to buy one of mine. Um, and they were offering to trade a regular SCX 24 like plus $100. So like get me a new one and $100. So now I don't know if that's the going rate, but that's a rate that somebody was going to pay. So but I think it's also worth noting that I think the price on them went up yesterday. So I mean on regular SCX 24s. So or it is going up in the next couple of days. They announced Horizon announced the price changes yesterday. So there we go. Now chassis extensions. Is that not going? Oh, nope. And last one. Okay, rear chassis extension in, sway bar mounts in, drop the sway bar through. Now, go. Getting close, everybody. We got to go shock hunting. So this, what else do I feel like I needed, oh, I've got a carrier bearing thing to swap still. We've got one more set of chassis braces. And that's it. So we are basically complete, ready to work on the squad. So now just need to connect the sway bars. CEN should release an independent front suspension for this. Oh, I mean, I guess that would be scale accurate to some of the trucks, right? But still. No. Can you? I don't think you can buy one of these with an independent, right? Not a F-450. 250, right? 350, no? 450, no? Verizon is upping the price on over 12,000 items. Yep, I downloaded the spreadsheet myself. Okay, so rear suspension is now totally done. Sway bars on, frame extension, panhard mount. So looks like we got to pull the battery box to do the carrier bearing. Oh, I got to put the hexes on too. Where did I throw those hexes that I had already opened? Just throw them in this pile of trash. Shoot. Doesn't seem like something I would have done, but it also seems like something I would have done. Yep, there they are. Okay. So let's throw those guys on the rear. So in that, and body's long enough to be, they hate us because they hate us. Yeah. I've never seen a light duty F-250. Are those two-wheel drive? Oh, yeah. I don't feel like the bowed chassis rails are going to be so much more appropriate on a squatted truck. Okay. Do you think the truck would work without all the tension bar stuff? Oh, without the sway bars? Do I think it would work? I mean, it would still work, but what do you mean by work? Like what is your intention if not to have sway bars? Like, do you think it's going to crawl? Like, real bad choice, I think, as a crawler. So this is the hitch. Here's the ball for said hitch. I'm not going to install this yet. I'm just going to throw it in the parts tray. That way I can set the proper depth. So let's see. There should be. Yep. Nope. Didn't need to take that one out. Oh well. So battery tray out so we can get to these screws for the carrier bearing. Okay. Old ones out. New ones in. Oh, shoot. Drive shaft. Center drive shaft came out. Do not tighten. There we go. Do those frame rails come pre-bent like that? These sure did. Okay, now let's drop this guy back into position. And that goes There's 3 different battery tray locations as well. We're putting it in the furthest back for the best weight distribution to the rear wheels. Okay. Just because I won't if I don't do it now, let's throw the battery straps back in. Good morning from Finland. Thank you. Send it back to them after you squat it. Nope. Backwards. I always do that when I'm not thinking about it. Is it wise to lock both front and rear back axles? If you want this thing to do things like turn, no. But otherwise, yes. We're about to squat this thing. So being concerned about good ideas left us so long ago. Oh, look at this. This one no, I'm not right. I was about to say a thing and then caught myself. What's next? RC four-wheel drive skid steer upgrades? Brian Sherwood, thank you very much, sir. Skid steer upgrades. Now, if you've got, wouldn't mind picking up one of those skid steers. There is a skid steer kit that's like $1,000, 1,100 even. Real hydraulics and all. I've thought about it, but it's just a little bit too much money. Usability is sort of out the window at this point. Couldn't have said it better. Josh, did you weigh it beforehand so you compare when you're done? I did not, but I mean, I don't think we could have added that much weight, really. There's not a lot of parts here. Okay, so we have installed all of the parts. We have many extra screws. Pretty sure that's on purpose. Let's get rid of the trash. Whoops. I don't know what those screws went to, but definitely. I'm throwing away the open diffs. I'm just not concerned about anything at this point other than, well, we do have bullet spikes to install. So we need to get to that. We've got the high offset fronts that we need to do. Come on, line up. There we go. So just going to get a couple of these started. There we go. Now we need to get that tool out of there. I'm out. There we go. Okay, will that fit in here? No. Oh, but I bet it will fit in one of these. There we go. It fits in. It fits in that guy, which fits in here. Oh, damn, if I'm spinning these all by hand. Look at those. So spiky. These things are actually very sharp. Not gonna lie. Like holding these down. They look like they just drank Monster Energy and still have a dip in. These things are really in there. Before you throw away anything, check your Instagram. I will do that before I actually throw the box away. This is an awfully long setup now. Wish I had a shorter 5.5. Set that torque a little lower for these. 2.5 mil. Perfect. The clutch settings on this DeWalt are really good. Okay, so we've got 8 of the 10 spiked lugs on. We're gonna drop it on the front. Put our lock nut on. Vanquish makes a scale driver tip. Yeah, but it wouldn't. I don't think it'd be this size. And this one's also super deep for that, so it would not be compatible. This stream brought to you by DeWalt. Oh, we're in full brodozer. Oh, it's so. Okay, I think we could probably at this time go back to the overhead, right? Or the main one. Let's get these started. Coolest part of the spikes. I think the spikes are damn cool. Yeah. I thought this stream was brought to you by Low Bros Anonymous. Oh, this would suck to put together by hand. Whistling Diesel will be proud of you. Lose the donk wheels. Tyler Durden, if you're already, which I like the username, if you're offended by the donk wheels, you are about to be much more offended. Okay. 8 more on. Did I do that correctly? I did. Making sure I got the ones with the letters out. But wait, there's more. Now, okay, no, that's fine. I was thinking I shouldn't put these on because it's going to be harder to get to the shocks, but the shocks bolt front to back at the axle. So we're okay, everybody. Don't worry. Man, I could maybe even just move the shocks down to the chassis. No, I think we can do better. If we're going to do it bad, we're going to do it right. Okay. So we're going to get them all back on. We're going to put the body on. And then that's when we will start looking at how we're going to accomplish the squat. Okay. There's that. That. Shocks to the link mounts. The problem is the link mounts on this one are inside the shock mounts by quite a bit. Okay. Is my tool tip overcompensating like this build? Who needs rear shocks at all? So we're going to check and see if we can lower the rear shocks a little bit, but there wasn't a ton of fender clearance, so that's what I'm concerned about. I don't want to have the rear tires rubbing the body too bad. Got to be drivable. Zip tie the coils. Yeah, I mean it's one of these type trucks. You cut coils. That's at least it still has coils then, right? Just go touring drift car shocks. Those are usually around 55. Yeah. I might have those. If I can fit a shorter shock in the rear, I'll absolutely do that. But we also, I don't know if I can go with that short of a shock because I don't think that the panhard will clear the chassis at that point. This thing is just flinging spiked lug nuts. It's trying to delay my squatting. Okay. Rear axle on. Rear tires on. So, it's actually hard to get these caps on with the spikes in there. They're pointy. They poke you. You have a Dremel, don't you? Nothing is in the way if you have a Dremel. Hey. This side is done. Spiked lug nuts all around. I feel like we need Eye of the Tiger music starting right now. As things really start to ramp up. Where was the Rocus Roja event held? It was held near the Red Rocks Amphitheater in Morrison, Colorado. Kind of the property directly adjacent to the amphitheater, which is owned by an elementary school, or someone right there owns the property adjacent to the elementary school. Anyway, right there. So Denver, Colorado area. Morrison, Colorado specifically, if you're familiar. I was going to ask who hid my 13. Oh, the anticipation. Yes. We may need a longer panhard and drag link in the front. You know, that's okay. We've got that. We've got that ability. We want to make sure our suspension geometry is right on a terrible setup. Am I going to the Jefferson Jamboree? We'll see. Kind of playing everything by ear at the moment. Okay. Problem number one, I'm putting in the last lug nut, but I need two more. That means that I must have dropped them because they have a foam cutout style. There they are. No, have no fear. Let's bolt these on in place. Front knee look right after all. That's someone's rear view mirror. We'll see. Oh, I've got good links. I've got good links. We've got. I mean, we could even go titanium, but I think that the. Oh, I don't want to hurt my table with the spiky lug nuts. Okay. Okay, upgrades are done there. Body back on. Time to investigate. Like that. Let's put some of this to the side for right now. Okay. So, first things first, body goes on. Okay. Oh, why did I think that there was no clearance back there? So much brodozer ability. So, that is not enough squat. Just full compression in the rear. So, we've got to go down at least another half inch beyond that in the rear. And in the front, I think we've got, the problem is that this is so long that it doesn't, we're really going to have to exaggerate it to get the proper body drop is next option. Let's see. Do we have the ability to body drop? Looks like we've got roughly, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 millimeters of body drop in the rear. No, maybe not even. No, we don't have any body drop ability in the rear because of the shape of the shock towers and the bed. Um, so can't do that. Not without re-engineering shock towers and all that, which obviously is a possibility, but just not one that's going to happen short quickly. So we do need shorter shocks in the back and longer in the front. Yeah. Shocks. What shocks do we have here? I'm trying to think here. Time to bust out some bins. Exactly, Ben. Um, I'm just trying to think. I know I threw a bunch of stuff in my bins to go to, what do you call it? Swap meet. So I don't have. Oh wow! I actually don't have much more rear. Can't go much shorter in the rear. Okay. So I guess we don't really have much ability in the rear. The only thing I can do is get it squatted down, which I can do that. It actually already sits at mostly a compressed state. What is this? What's a 7,000 milliamp pack? Yeah, we could take the springs out, but fits like a glove. Should do it the other way. That's 7,000 milliamp 3S in there. One of my packs for my infraction. Can you lower the rear body post? No, the rear is already as low as it'll go. These rear shock towers are right at the body. So you'd have to cut all of that out. And then if you did that, it wouldn't, I don't know, it would look worse than anything. So worse than a squatted truck could look. Truck would run for 3 hours with that battery. Rotate the battery box horizontal. Does it do that? I guess it could in here, right? It's a possibility. We'll look at that. Does it fit with that on there? Yep, fits just fine. Okay. Or close enough to fine that I'm not worried. I don't know, I'm actually going to run that battery anyway. Sorry, I'm asking, but I'm late to the stream. Well, so initially we got this truck, which is CEN F-450, and we took and we bolted on all of the upgrades that CEN makes, which was like aluminum link mounts and panhard mounts, and sway bars, lockers, carrier bearings, chassis braces, rear hitch extension, spiked lug nuts. And then someone gave me the suggestion to squat it. And that is an awful, terrible thing to do to a real vehicle. But this is an RC car. And it's kind of a pointless RC car already. So to make it more pointlesser, we are going to squat it, which, if you're not familiar, means to lower the rear and raise the front. Because again, it's kind of already a pointless RC truck. For right now, we are going to remove the coils, just for now. No, we're not. We're going to remove the lower spring bucket, because then it looks like you still have coil springs, which is proper, but they don't function. Or, if anything, barely have any function, if any. Come on. Okay, one side's done. It already sits all the way down. Can you take it and have fun with it? You can. Or you can have fun with it on the bench, which is an equal amount of fun to me. And half of the reason I enjoy RC. Just zip tie the chassis to the axles. No, because this is still functional and it doesn't use a zip tie. And if it doesn't use a zip tie, that's a win. Because this way, it looks more proper if you don't know what you're looking for. And it's less hacked. And the suspension will still travel and move. Come on. Where did that go? There it is. So, SCX24 shocks. You know what? I don't think that those are going to bolt up. And at this point now, the truck is already sitting on any component that it has. So it can't even compress the shocks all the way because there's other things hitting. So we've got it as dropped as possible. We're going to take out the battery at this point because we don't need the weight. Like Ben said, it would run for 3 hours on that battery or more. Okay, so now let's disconnect the upper. Yes, we're gonna ruin this truck in a non-permanent way for you guys. So hit the like button. Okay. So front shocks are disconnected. So now what is maxing out at this point? Okay, so at this point, due to the nature of a 3-link, as it travels, it swings in an arc. It follows the radius of a panhard link. That's how a 3-link suspension works. So it's following the radius of that link right there. So at that point, things are starting to collide and hit, which means we need a longer panhard so it pushes the axle over and gives us more clearance. So we disconnect that. Silly link. And now we are going to need longer sway bar links and possibly a bent steering drag link to clear. Well, no, if we do, is that enough? Is that enough squat? Oh, the nice thing is we also have some adjustability here. We might be able to just do some longer rod ends, keep the links looking the same. Okay. We might be able to cheat one or two body. Is that good enough? I mean, that looks pretty reasonable, right? Like that's maximum brodozer squat, right? I mean, ditch the sway. The sway bar, the sway bar is great. Those are even. That's it right there. Okay, so we need you know what? First step is the shocks fit right at the chassis, basically at that location. Nothing about this is reasonable. Oh, wait, why is there a screw there already? Oh, the chassis. I'll have to put it one more forward. There's nothing there to screw into. We're going to need a longer screw. Let's see if this works. Okay. So right now it doesn't like this because we've got a steering linkage hitting. So let's relax that and see what the suspension does. Okay. Let's see if we can get that link out. Jesse Schultz, $2. Come on. Go. Okay. So we're going to have to get that. We're going to have to get a steering linkage. Oh, this is going to be so SEMA. Okay, we've got those. What now is not loving life? I think it's the drive shaft. So, okay. I don't love my shock position. I have one other idea. Yeah. I've got a plan. So we are going to drill a new shock mounting location in these metal shock towers. They're stamped metal. They'll work fine. It won't even be like a hack thing to do. So we're going to get a center punch and my tiny hammer. Is this worthy of a running video? Ben, you might be right. I have never thought I would be this excited about this truck. So now the one other thing is that this is basically a maxed angle because we've got the dog bone shaft and it is absolutely maxed right now. Like Maybe I could get another 2 millimeters, but that's about all. So I'm pretty happy at this location. I'm going to give the shock, I'm going to mark it, but I'm going to give it another like millimeter or so, 2 millimeters of preload. So Darwin, thank you, sir. Gonna need Nicole's opinion live when it's done. Okay, there's that. We're gonna give it about 2 millimeters of preload. Plenty of room on the backside there. Bluetooth front drive shaft. I know, I thought about that. I'm not gonna do that mainly because I do not want to take the front axle apart again. That's the only reason. Otherwise, it's the right move. So we are going to don't want to. We're going to go straight above that other shock hole, or not shock hole, but okay, we're good. My little Makita drill bit set. I'm going to use an 1/8 inch because that's the closest size to a 3 mil. Just take out the dog bone. The problem is that I went with the upgraded style, which has a universal shaft at this end. Otherwise, I would. I already did the upgrade. The original one was just a dog bone. Get out of my way, clown. Oh, it's walking. We need a bigger. There we go. Oh, you put it on drill. We're through, but I don't want to go right into the servo. Touch the servo a little bit. It's okay. All right. There. More lock nuts. Okay. I always thought the goal was to make a truck better, not worse. You know what? Sometimes things change. I don't know what I dropped, but can't be that important at this point. Where's my 2.0? There it is. Heaviest shock oil in the front you got. See, that is thinking that I'm going to take apart the shocks. That's definitely not going to happen. Okay. That'll do. It's as far back as I can get. It's pretty close to vertical, especially when it's in the squatted position. When it's flat, it's maybe a little bit tilted forward, which I don't love. But in the squatted position, that's about vertical. Okay, need to mark and drill. Let's see. Oh, which one did I above that? Okay. We're just going to be safe and use a caliper to compare. This rake makes me hurt. I can just go from the top edge. That is, we did a 35 millimeter lift on this. So about 1.25 inches scale. So take that, we did a 12.5 inch lift. It's a scale 12.5 inch lift. That is what I'm after. Okay. That scale 12.5 inch lift seems perfect. This will be the most watched stream. You just got to be real careful where you get these spiky lug nuts. Marked. And oh, Amy just walked in. What's he building tonight? I covered the screen and just said no. It went forward a little bit, just making sure I didn't hit the servo. Okay. Some steel shavings floating around. Okay, back to reinstallation. We do need to source either longer rod ends, which are 3 millimeter, or go to a longer link. That's what I'm going to find out. Okay. Okay, so first things first, let's figure out what to do about the panhard. I have rod ends that are 3 mil. Most of my stuff is 4 millimeter. Like Jado rod ends are the normal longer one, but those are made for a 4 millimeter thread, which before I assume, let's take it off and check. I could be wrong. Nope, I'm not. They're 3 millimeter. I was pretty sure. Josh is so proud of himself. I'm about to be. Well, these are all. Let's just grab the link bucket. So these, let's take it off the chassis and do some measuring first. That's where we need that ball end again. Wait until Matt sees what you've done. Just okay. So that other rod end went where? Took it off, had it in my hand, and I absolutely lost it. Garbage. How did I manage that? I lost it in 4 feet. That is talent. Okay, well, I guess we can just guesstimate. So these links are 80 millimeter or shorter, so we'll just compare. That one could be about perfect right on. Let's try that guy. The first link that I grab, what's the chances of that being right? Need another ball end. Snap that guy in there. Throw a titanium link in there. I think I need to tighten this end down just a little bit. Okay. So this link itself is about, it's almost the exact same length, but these rod ends that are on here are about 2 or 3 millimeters longer each. So that should net us almost exactly what I'm after. Come on. Got to get it started at least so that I can use the ball end mill. Or ball end driver. Ball. Nest Street chapter where flat mill pit vipers cotton candy favored plate vape. Okay, there we go. That should go. That should be about perfect. That should be fantastic. Okay. Where the original screw went, but that's CEN Racing. I did a thing. So this panhard mount at the axle has got 3 locations, and they should all be about perfect for the adjustment in case I need any more. So now these sway bar end links, those could use some more attention, just because if you wanted to do anything like steering, well, let's see if that adjustment fixed it, because previously Oh, I think that panhard adjustment was about perfect. Let's see. The previous panhard was just shoving it over too much, causing it to bind. I think a simple panhard change. Now, if it needs a longer steering link, that's a real possibility. Whoops. Josh. So CEN, remember that perfectly good truck you sent me? Little bit back. Okay. So now, yeah, that's at quite a steep angle. It doesn't like to move much, but it doesn't move much less than it did stock. Well, it doesn't like to flex because of those sway bars, but it's not really what we're after, is it? I do need a longer steering link. I think that would be the one thing that this truck is missing. And actually, that's it. Okay. We should fix that, right? Is it squatted? Yep. Was it squatted when we started? No. Did we do terrible things? Yes. Is that squeaking supposed to be there? I'm pretty sure whistling diesel. Okay. We're going to be very careful again, and we're going to disconnect the servo with it still centered. Perfectly up and down. Okay, there we go. Connect that. Josh went crazy this episode. Now, if this is a proper setup, then those links should be identical. And I happen to have another identical titanium link. So let's reattach and reinvestigate. Silly things I never thought I'd be excited about. Squatted RC truck near the top. Oh, I know what that was. That was a little clamping screw. Uh-oh. That was a tiny little booger. I'm going to put this back on first before I screw anything up anymore. And hold, please. Okay. It's been donated to the carpet gods. but I think it's just M2, which I have a good amount of, although it is button head and not socket head. Let's see if this works. Nope. Socket head or button head will not clear. Darn it. And do I have any? Sorry. One other place to check. Hold, please. See if this one. No Dos Equis for you. Ooh, I'll tell you what, this servo, not a high quality unit. That is one wobbly servo. Get out the mag. Yeah. Real question, is this getting a full foam interior? Tell you what, that's a lot closer. But yeah, nope, that'll work. That'll work just fine. I'm not kidding. That has got to be the wobbliest servo output I've ever seen. Friday night drunk build brought to you by Dos Equis. I had 2 Dos Equis. I am a 200-pound male, and we have been live for 3 hours and 20 minutes. So we even did some titanium updates. Sometimes 2 was enough. There we go. Now the servo's proper. Oh, this thing is going to turn worse than anything I've seen. Do we cheat it one more body post hole in the front? Just for that realistic body lift. I'm only going 1 hole, so a little bit. What is that going to be? 3 millimeters, 4 millimeters? The only thing left is I got to put the trailer hitch on. Come on. Let's put the trailer hitch on. Go. Now I need, does it thread or does it not? Perfect. Pitch is on as well. It's a work of art. I'm just reading that part of that comment, not the part where you say little cleanup so we have room to admire. This was such a successful. Much success. I'm back. How much time? But it couldn't have gone better. It got worse. I mean, spiky lug nuts, squatted. We made dreams come true tonight, everybody. We made dreams come true. So let me put my tool tips away. Let me retire these after just working absolute magic tonight. I see Josh found the meth. Hillbilly Hauler. Oh, we have to name it now. What's a great squatted truck owner name? I mean, there's the obvious Kyle, but that's too easy. I feel like it needs something. It needs a 1-inch exhaust pipe. Needs a CB antenna with tennis balls. Do they? I feel like these people would be weight. The Chad. I mean, Cletus. No, I like Cletus. Front end needs swampers stretched over. Oh. Now, here's the problem is that I usually like to display trucks up here, but this one will not if I put it on a thing, it's going to sit like this and you're not going to understand. It needs to sit proper. Hmm. I see some fender underglow in the near future. You know what? I've got. Let's see. 50. These are 50/50s. I think that's the wrong color. Is it? I don't know what color this is. I think that's the wrong one. This is blue though. So it is the most useless RC ever. I love a good useless RC. This one's already got the 3M on the back. Oh, Carolina, Perry G. That's yeah. Let's call her Carolina. Caroline. How about that? Caroline? Karen. I think Caroline is perfect. I could put the blue underglow. Lena. I like that one as well. Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba. It's definitely a Kurt. Next week, Red Cat is sending Josh the hopping Impala. Oh, this turned out so much better than I could have ever imagined. I'm going with Caroline. I think that's. It does have a fat ass Caroline fits. What in the world? You have all been here for the most successful stream. Maybe next to Flex Seal, one of the best. I had an absolutely fantastic time. You have all been amazing. I can't remember who said it first. I need to go back in the chat and find who that person was. I mean, even we got the trailer hitch on, right? Just completing the look. I tell the pulling the coil retainers off the shock so it still looks like there's a shock. That was the way to go. I mean, the squatted look really distracts your eye from the bent or the bowed chassis. This was a win. This was a. Does it flex, bro? Joseph, let's see. Does it? What? How much flex do you guys think that this thing possibly is? Think it has an inch? I bet. Oh, right, right there. Oh, it's probably got at least. Do I have 1, 2, 3 blocks in here? I do. So 1 inch, easy. 2 inches, just right at 2 inches of flex. All chassis flex. She a 3-finger girl. About right. So pleased. So pleased. We've got good fitment back here still. I wish that I could. I'm almost positive I'm going to look at one thing. One more thing just for a little extra. No more room, but let's see. Could I possibly? I got rid of this. Which hole is that in? I just go like that. Ooh, that'd give me another millimeter. That. Let's see. So it's got these little body hinge spacer things on. I think I can just get rid of those completely, and I'll just let it sit on the shock tower. Yeah, that's gonna work. That actually probably gives us another couple millimeters. Does it pop through? Need one more hole. Let's see. There we go. Now 2 are showing. Where you at? That work? Okay. We're there. Stacks. Great. We're just in the fine tuning stages of such a, this is like where Matt would spend all that time with his airbrush, and this is the real fine art of suspension tuning at this part. That's it. That's the last step. Yeah. We got just a little bit more. We got whatever the thickness of these things are. 2 mil? A little tighter gap there. Can whistle and diesel it now. Can you whistle and diesel it now? Put it through a shredder. Man, that's right on. Oh, I know why. Yeah, that makes sense. It's just like right on that tire. See that? That gap is perfect. It's all the way around, doesn't touch, but there's only like this. Now let's see it do 60 miles an hour into a wall. If there was ever a time. Oh, James Bush, 666 stacks. That's thank you very much for that. Did I miss any others while I was not paying attention? No, Perry G. Caroline. Pretty legit, dude. Thank you. That's it. You guys were awesome. I have so many Instagram posts to make. Awful taste, but great execution. Oh my god! All right, that's gonna do it for tonight. Uh, I gotta make some. I gotta take some photos because this is good. CN was expecting a nice running review vid. This is what you made instead. I hate it so much, but in a loving sort of way. That is exactly it. I want people to just be like, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen." Oh, Caroline, you're my favorite now. You guys are awesome. I will see you. Scale News, all the other things. We will see you soon. Thanks.